Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 11th of June 2018 and we're going to reflect on the Beatitudes. You'll find this in Matthew chapter 5 verses 1 to 12. Phenomenal. Listen. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." The Gospel of the Lord. I want to introduce you to the concept of bookends in Scripture. You know what bookends are, right? When you have books placed on a freestanding shelf, you have objects on either side to hold them upright. These bookends, in effect, contain the books between them. And we have a lot of bookends in Scripture, and it's fun looking for them and at them. In Matthew 4:23, we find that Jesus went throughout Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing every disease and every sickness among the people. Then in Matthew 9:35, Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing every disease and every sickness. Identical statements. He taught, he preached, he healed. All three go together, and between these two bookends, we find Jesus doing these three things. One more. In Matthew 5:1, hang on a second. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, and then he continues the Beatitude, and that's the first bookend. But at the end of it, it says, "Now when Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were astounded at his teaching." You'll find this in Matthew 7:28 to 29. Notice when he started, he was speaking to the disciples, but when he ended, there were crowds. Where did the crowds suddenly come from? From all over to listen to the Master. Let me give you a third bookend, which is from today's reading. Jesus begins by saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And he ends by saying, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Again, identical statements, almost. Sandwiched between these two bookends are all the things that belong to the kingdom of heaven. And all these things are yours. You will be comforted. You will inherit the earth. You will be filled. You will receive mercy. You will see God. You will be called children of God. Now, these are our rights as Christians. Isn't that amazing? But you know what? We can't have rights without duties, just like in the world. And what are our duties? These are contained in the Beatitudes. Reflect upon them in depth, and you will be blessed. God be with you.